that smoke.
Wow.
Uncle Sam may spend more of your tax dollars on failing big business. Do you like that idea? Congress back in session now. For the first time since before the election, it may vote this week on a $25 billion bailout for Detroit, America's big three automakers sitting on the brink of bankruptcy as the Treasury Department changes course on how it wants to spend the first amount of the financial rescue bill. Senator Jim Inhofe is an Oklahoma Republican. He's opposed to all these bailouts. Senator, good morning to you.
Good morning, Bill.
What's the big risk we take if we don't help out GM now?
Well, first of all, we shouldn't be talking about GM at the same time we're talking about the $700 billion bailout. It's just they're two different things. That was never discussed on October 3rd when the vote came up. What we should do with the General Motors and the American auto industry is take that up as a separate issue, funding it separately so everyone has to stand accountable for the fact that it's going to cost a lot of money.
I understand the point you're making there, but this thing is changing so quickly, and frankly, no one's come out with the right answer yet. And no one really knows. You have a Congress that voted on this deal, and the fine print is so difficult to find because nobody knows what the real numbers are. Go for it.
Bill, let's remember, when we first voted on this, that was $700 billion. That was supposedly be to buy out damaged assets. Then, without any consultation, without anyone even being aware of it that I know of, they decided instead of that, they would buy equity positions in large banks. So $125 billion, I understand, has already been spent. Now, here we are arguing in the United States Senate, should it be in the jurisdiction of the Finance Committee, the Bank Committee? Who should the Special Inspector General be? And by the time they confirm an Inspector General, all that money is going to be spent anyway. So I think what we've got to do on this whole thing, and I'm introducing it today, is a bill that will do two things. First of all, put a freeze on all that money that hasn't been spent yet. I don't even know what hasn't been spent.
So you're in that camp that says we don't know where the bottom is. Let's take a breath right now and do it right.
You name one time, Bill, in the history of this country that we've given a large amount of money to an unelected bureaucrat to do with as he wishes. And that's exactly what's happened. Now, the only thing we can do is to, first of all, stop the second $350 billion and put a freeze on what is not been spent of the first. Because if we sit around and talk about it and debate this thing and talk about an Inspector General to oversee it, it's all over. It's done.
Well, why do you think, go back 10 years, why is it that when GM saw the strength of the marketplace for Toyota and how it was being buried at that time, why wasn't it so nimble and flexible in order to change its own business and fight for its own survival?
Well, I think you got two big problems there. Again, I don't want to confuse these two issues, but you have a union problem, you have a management problem, and it's gotten out of hand. You look down there, and I can understand why Senator Shelby is saying what he is saying, and I agree with him that he has auto industries down there in his state and in the surrounding area. They've done a very good job. They're making money.
And you can say the same in places like Tennessee and South Carolina too, Indiana, the state of Kentucky.
So why should government reward mismanagement and unions out of control?
Should Chrysler have been bailed out in 1979?
I'm sorry?
Should Chrysler have gotten a hand up in 1979?
No, I don't think so. I know that
was the first mistake that was made.
That's the model that they used because apparently that ended up not costing anything. But I said no at that time. I don't think that's government's role. We have a free enterprise system. There are risks involved, and I think what would be the motivation for them to change the way they operate if they all of a sudden got bailed out with what, $25 billion or whatever?
Well, there's a political component to all this too. Some are making the case that the Democrats are trying to protect the union vote. Others are saying Republicans are trying to kiss it off because Michigan hasn't gone for Republicans since 1988. We'll save those arguments for another day, but for now I want to say to you, happy birthday.
Well, but right now, thank you, and the same to you last Friday.
Thank you very much, and guess what? Tomorrow. Yeah, 3 Scorpios, all in the hat. Senator, thank you. Come on back. We'll continue our debate, okay? Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, the latest flare-up of violence in the Middle East is threatening to overshadow ongoing peace talks between Israel